How we doing, everyone? Elber's on. Good to see you, Elber. Isis. Michelle, did you invite anyone from Greenland or Fiji today? We'll see. We'll see if they go on. Eric 1. Who's Eric 1? We got a few Erics. CJ's on.
My mom's gonna watch.
Who is that?
Eric Bernard.
Oh, okay, great. All right. We'll give it another minute and we will officially bow in and begin. Remember, guys, it is still Buddy Week. Everyone should have one friend that they invite. Michelle invited the other side of the world the other day. She's definitely outshining everyone on Buddy Week so far. Trey, what's up, Trey? Trey's back on again. Good. Okay, we're going to get the class started. So go ahead and line up. All right, right here. Ready, stance. Feet together. Tension. And bow. Okay, let's find a space on the mats. Have a seat. We're going to go through quick tiger routine, then a little stretching. Then we're going through some core training. Okay? So let's get right here into position, leaning and side to side. Begin. Kick the door. And around the world. Protection walking drill. One more other side. Lizard drill, shoulder down. Last one. There we go. Step, kick, reset, switch, step, kick, reset, switch. One more per side. Good. All right, let's do a little warm up just to kind of loosen up the spine. So this drill, knee across, arm out, hand over, stretch it over and twist and look toward your hand, and then bring it back. And again, you can place this top hand on your knee just to keep it from opening too much while you twist. Continue. Good. Let's look the other side. Legs straight. Knee 90-degree bend. Place on the floor. Hand on top. Arm out. Stretch. And rotate over. Good. Next position, just to stretch the hamstring a little bit. To get that. You're gonna step your foot forward. We're gonna stretch like this. Okay. So focus when you're stretching forward on keeping your hips forward. Do the keep your rear hip forward. Try not to let your body twist this way. We're here, and then same thing. We're gonna raise our toes off the ground. Still keeping our hips lined up, and just leaning into the hamstring. Okay, hips square, stretching. The tendency here is to kind of let this hip fall back. Keep your chest and your hips square here. And then same thing, the tendency on the hamstring is to kind of twist your hip back and lean. Keep yourself here. And just tilt a little. You don't have to grab your foot. You can post a little if you'd like to help you climb a little, but don't force that. Focus on the proper alignment. One more on this side. Come up with your hands. Give a little twist to the side of the leg that's forward. And back, hamstring. Good. Bring that knee down. Opposite foot steps forward. Same thing. Keep the hips square. Lean. And hips stay square. Lean forward. And back. One more. Forward, arms up. You can just hold them, or if you want to clasp them together, lean. Back up, little back bend. And hamstring stretch right here. Good. Okay, from this position, we're going to come up into kind of a scorpion tail pose, and then we're going to loop our foot in front and across from the other one. All right? So I'll demonstrate right here. Right? We come up, we twist, and then we bring our foot over. Come up, twist, bring our foot over. And we're always stepping in front of the other foot. Up, twist, up, twist. So go ahead and follow through. You can come onto your fingertips, and you can bend your knees to help you out as you get close to your hands. At the top, allow your feet to sort of fold together like this and just hang and stretch. Once you're there, let's undo it. So leg comes up, and just bring your leg up and just set it down. Up, set it down as you walk back. Good. We're gonna do the same thing, only this time at the end, I want you to end up with the other leg in front, okay? So again, up, twisting, step, up, twisting, step. I'm having trouble remembering which foot was in front. I hope it wasn't this one. Either way, a little stretch. If you're not sure, you can always go ahead and switch the feet. Good. And come up. Standing position, all right? Do a little back bend. Come down, touch the feet. Flatten the back out. Hands down. You can step back or float back. Lower down. Up dog position. Stretch the back out some here. Down dog position. And relax. Okay. So let me just check. So who's joined us before we go into the next routine? Shanek was back. Good to see you again. Let's see, CJ, Trey, Eric. Who is this right here? THETR. The room's there. Well, we're gonna get to it. All right, so listen up. This next set of drills and movements may be done on the hands, but I'm going to be on the elbows, okay? So it's just a little different way of doing these, all right? So let's get to the first one. It's gonna be challenging. If you need a break at any point, you can just rest, but consider resting only halfway. Consider just putting the knees down and not just coming into a fully rested position, all right? So this position here, I'm in a plank position, elbows. Like I said, I could be up here, or maybe I'm actually on the knees here. All depends on what you're comfortable doing. What I'm gonna do is just alternate touching my elbows to my triceps. I mean my knees to my triceps. 1, 2. Get in position. Ready, begin. And don't worry about counting so much. Just worry about good form. Focus on getting a good repetition each time. This is a bit much. You can come up to the hands and try this from a plank position all the way up. Good, let's rest on the side. Not quite resting, but sort of. Good, rest on the other side. Good, now we're going to sit out. So I'm on my elbow, leg steps across, come back, sit out. Hips are always off the ground. Begin. Again, if you need to modify, come up to the hands if you feel that works better for you, or drop to a knee on occasion to recover. It should not be hurting the shoulders. If it is, modify how you need to. Good. Let's recover on the side. Other side. Great. Now we're going backwards. Here. Begin. Going. And pause. Good. All right. Rest a little on one side. Rest on the other. Now what we're going to do is alternate one arm up, one leg up. So I'm going to raise my right arm and left leg. Now I'm switching. Left arm, right leg. Try not to twist too much. Try to stay in a square with the floor. Alternating. Begin. Good. Rest on one side. Rest on the other. Back to here. All right, now come up to one leg, stretching. The other balance is down on this leg. When you come back, you're going to put this leg back slowly without dropping the arm down. Then slowly, other arm and leg. Elbow, leg forward, balance as you come back, and then slowly replace the arm. Continue. Don't worry about counting, worry about form. Stretching from this position, right? Good hip stretch. Both knees are off the ground. Find your strength as you replace the leg. Good, and rest for 1 second, or just a moment here. And we're going to do around the clock now, right? So we want to go all the way around in a full circle and all the way back. So you don't have to do this in 12 movements, right? You can do it in a little more or less. This really depends on how long your arms are. So make sure you just find your starting point and you're going to return there. So imagine the dial on a clock. Your feet are where that dial is connected to the clock. Your head is like the end of the dial. So your head, your entire body is moving, but your feet stay in the center the whole time. So I'll show you what this sort of looks like for a few reps, and then I'll show you what I don't want. So feet here, I'm stepping. Notice my feet are not moving. They're staying there. A mistake I've seen when teaching this one is we get confused and we start doing this. And that's actually rather easy. Not easy, but you get it done too quickly and you're using double the body parts to work. So not as challenging as I'd like it to be, right? Again, we can do this one from the hands. You can also, if it's too much for the elbows or the hands and you need to put the knees down, just focus on not having your knees like this, but being in a straight line, right? So there is tension on the arms. Okay, all the way around. So wherever you're lined up now I know some of you have furniture, so you really need, if you were 6 feet tall, you need 12 feet because you're going to be moving the entire length of your body all around you. So if maybe you only have enough for half circle, maybe you do a half circle 4 times to get the same effect, okay? Okay, here we go. Get ready. Try to put your big toes together, plant your feet in place, and begin. Once you hit 12 o'clock, come all the way back around. Very nice. Very nice. Now I see you over. Trey, what's up, buddy? I've missed you, man. I'm glad you could join us today. Great to see you. Sam is just like cold chilling, not doing any of the workouts, but smiling like it's the greatest thing ever. That's cool. Good to have you on. Nariam's here. Keep working, team. Keep working. Hey, if you have to pause and rest, catch your breath, and then finish. Do not quit or give up early. Just finish it, okay? You're at your pace. You're not looking at everybody else. Trey, did you get those done already? Give me a thumbs up if you did. I can't see the thumbs up. Oh, no, he's still working. All right, good. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Sam, I see a big table right there in front of you. I feel like you could do it right there on that table. He's like, no, don't want any sweat to come out of this hat. Good. Keep working. Keep working. Finish it up. Good job, Isis. Zandria, I see your feet working. Keep going. Good job. I know some of you have limited space. You got to move like a foot and then restart in a different position. That's okay. Just keep it honest. Good work. All right, give you guys one more minute. Okay, team. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to review the movements we did yesterday. Not for too long, because it should be familiar if anybody attended class yesterday. And even if you didn't, you know, if you've trained before, you've likely done these movements. So we'll go through these for maybe 5 minutes or so, just to review. And then I want to open it up for some questions that you guys might have. So please have those ready. Don't be shy. But we were talking yesterday about basic and advanced level bridging, right? And I used the basic level bridge to demonstrate a defensive movement, which was escaping from the mount position. I used the single leg bridge to demonstrate a more advanced movement, a sweep from the guard position, from the closed guard. Now, those aren't the only two options where you're going to use those techniques. But they're pretty easy to kind of explain why we need these movements. All right. So let's just start here with the basic bridge. Okay. And a lot of times we bridge, we just think like, oh, feet down, hips up. But we don't move our opponent very much. If Coach Anthony here, if he's mounted, like I said, this is kind of a kill position for him. This is a really winning position, right? He can choke me, armbar me. If it's a fight, he can punch me. If I just bump him a little bit, I'll get him to put his hands down, but he's still strong, right? What I want to do is look to trap an arm, whether I'm gripping it here and maybe the other hand is gripping to secure it, or if I've got him and I just trap his arm here. Either way, bumping him here, not enough. But getting my toes underneath and bumping here, now I have some real power. So when we demonstrate the bridge, when I practice the bridge, a mistake that I often see, like if I'm going to do a full bridge, is bridging and then lowering and twisting. And you've lost all your power. You have to learn to twist in that like up bridge position. So what I want to see here is practice bringing your toes in close. Maybe even bridge a little, walk closer. And then bridge high as you can. Roll, so I'm more or less on my shoulder, a little bit on my head. Don't do anything that hurts you, right? Turn, step, and come up. That's it. Okay? So let's work that. Exaggerate the bridge, right? Like your body is one of those medieval catapult launchers, right? And you've got to throw this weight off of your hips. If you just do that, it's not going to work, right? Feet underneath, bridge, turn, lift, and get to the top position. Everybody give me at least 5 good ones of those, okay? Let's see it. Uh-oh, oh, Sam's getting ready. Sam's gonna do it too. Good work, good work. Good job, Trey. Let's see it again, Trey. Go, Trenton. Nice, buddy. You guys are looking great. Michelle might have the best one. If you're not sure, check out Michelle's screen. I'm sure Xandria's doing it, but she's hiding just off screen. There you go. I see the bridge. Oh, now she's in screen. Good job. All right, good. So now let me follow up with the single leg bridge, okay? So this was one also that we did yesterday. This one certainly requires more balance because with 2 feet down, if the weight shifts to 1 foot or the other, I'm well balanced. With 1 foot down, if the weight shifts, I fall on the other. So I've got to really stabilize my balance here, okay? So the way we demonstrated this, bridging, I'm not necessarily tucking my toes under as much because I need a little more foot on the ground, but I'm lifting up, turning. It's not that different than the regular bridge. It's just more balance required. And the technique that I showed was from the closed guard. It was actually from the match that we reviewed on the watch party. We had Marcelo Garcia and Shanji fought at the finals of the Brazilian Nationals. And Marcelo had just run through the open weight class, beating everybody. Now they're in the final. And Shanji jumped to closed guard. And he secured the sleeve, reached down, grabbed the pants right here. And just as Marcelo was thinking about, breaking that grip, he pulled forward, dropped, kicked, single leg bridge, took him over. And then the scramble led to Shanji, the one who did the sweep, taking the back mount and controlling for most of the rest of the fight. So let's work that bridge, okay? And sometimes we're bridging to escape with one leg, that's true. But this bridge it can be offensive as well, especially in sweep type movements. So what I want to see is this. So you visualize closed guard. You can even grip, imaginary grips if you want to, otherwise just here, okay? Bring your knees in a little, foot down, hips up. So instead of foot, then hips, almost like you're stomping the floor. So lift up, turn, try to come up to your shoulder and foot only. If you can do this, you've got some real balance going. And then come over. And then rewind, and you can do the other side. Bridge. So close guard, bridge, turn, and then come back. Let's see it. Go. Check everybody's technique. Good work. Don't break any furniture. Keep going. Nice job, everybody. Good. One more. Give me one more great one on each side, team. Good. Okay, time. Nice work, everyone. So now let's take that bridge and go the other direction. And this movement is very important for escaping danger. So the first bridge, I demonstrated a reversal, right? Reversing my opponent on the top mount position. The second, I demonstrated a sweep, using that bridge to sweep. Now I'm going to demonstrate an escape. So to sort of show how this type of movement might come into play, I have Coach Anthony, he's past my guard, but I'm a little bit stuck here and I can't turn into him because he's got the crossface blocking me, right? Here, I might bridge up and then bring my guard to him. See that? So as he's trying to crowd me, I push a little, bring my guard in, and now I've recovered guard. So the drill, right? Before I bridged and I went that direction. Now I'm going to bridge and go the other direction and bring my foot through. And try to do this. Try to drop the foot, but I'm still just shoulder and feet only. Now come back. Now the other side. Bridge, roll toward the floating leg, bring the leg through. See, I'm on my shoulder and my feet only. Now come back, again, balancing, using my core, back to the bridge position. And if you really want to get creative with this, don't drop the hips for the whole drill. Bridge, turn, back, back. See that? Always elevated. Give it a try. Begin. You can do this, you're working with some serious core stability. This will make your entire game more efficient. Your escapes, your sweeps, your attacks. Everything is going to move with more control when you can find balance in these awkward positions. And if you fall down and lose your balance, that's good too. That means you're learning how your body has to balance. What's the matter, Sam? Oh, you have somebody doing like jumping jacks in the back. Keep going. 30 more seconds. Everybody give me one good one on each side. Hey, we got a little kid. Yeah, don't knock over any children or furniture while doing these. All right, team. Great effort. Great effort. Good. Okay, so you can rest now. And we're going to open up for a couple of questions if you guys have them. And now listen, when you're thinking about maybe what you'd like to ask, if you're not sure, your question does not need to be exact. You don't have to say exactly, how do I do this move? What are the steps with ABC move, right? You can really simplify and say like, how else can I use that drill that we did? Or what do I do when somebody catches me here, right? So be as specific or as broad as you want when asking a question, or just anything that you think is going to help your game. But I'll open up for questions right now if we have any. Yes, Michelle.
Two.
Yes.
First, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's D-A-R-C-E, choke.
Darce.
Darce. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you show that?
Gladly.
Sure.
Okay. Yep. All right. So from this position, I'm going to show it from the top side mount, but the Darce choke can really be done from, go ahead. It can be done anytime my arms line up with their neck this way. Okay. So I can get it from a lot of positions. I can get it from the bottom. I can get it from the top. I can get it from half guard. Can get it from the top turtle position. But here's what it is. Let's go. We're good. When I have an angle, the person on the side, okay, and I need this top arm, and I want to be behind the arm. All right. So you see where I am, like his arm's here. My arm is behind, reaching for the back of the neck. And this arm, I wanted to close the gap. So much like a triangle choke, his arm is part of the choke. This arm of his, the shoulder rather, is choking this side of his neck. My arm is choking the bottom part of his neck, right? These two arteries we have on each side. Now, to complete it, I'm gripping like a rear naked choke as deep as I can. I like to bring this hand up as high as I can. And then to secure the pressure, I like to do a little sprawl and then pull my arms into me this way, okay? Now, there are follow-ups and scrambles and things like that, that we have to adjust for. But let me show you a simple reaction that you have to deal with sometimes is they start to extend their head away. This is the counter. And when I try to pull, extend your head. When I try to pull, it's too strong. Come back. Now do it. See the difference? When you bend someone's head this way, they're much weaker. The muscles that move your head this way are much weaker than the ones that move your head backwards. So when you have this opportunity, so where might we find this opportunity? We pass the guard and they turn to their side, right? And we're kind of holding here and they're trying to put up frames and shields. And so what do? We pick the head up, we punch behind, and there we are. Right in position. I can finish here. Sometimes they're giving me too much of a fight. And what I'll do is I'll do a little reverse sit out. Step to the mount. But it's a high mount where my head leans forward. And then I finish right there. Okay? So now let me show you another situation, turtle. Right? Sometimes you can hit it from here, the turtle's up. And the head, punch underneath. I like to pull them over. But look where we are. Same position. Right? Half guard. I'm doing like a cut through pass. He starts coming up for an underhook. Intercepted. Boom. As I'm passing through, there it is. I just need the angle of that arm. The most common situation that I think you'll find this attack is going to be when you are passing the guard or you have passed the guard and they are on the side facing you. They're turned into you. And you weave that arm out of the way. Again, you are holding the arms almost like a rear naked choke. Rear naked choke, you have the hand sometimes behind the head. Here, you just have the hand cupping their back. Let me do one more time. Anthony, just feet this way.
Sorry.
Fine. So let's say I did a pass. He turns into me, and I'm sort of crowding right here. Turn this way, right? I'm behind here. This one. And here's the thing too, never let go when you're going to get this arm, because as soon as you let go, he extends the head out of the way. What you do, you keep the arm kind of touching and you just slide along. For Anthony, that's easy because he just shaved his head, so just slides right into place. Okay?
Cool.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Yeah. And by the way, this is going to be on YouTube also, so you can go back and watch it as much as you like. And yeah, second question.
So along the lines of what Anthony was asking yesterday, you know, how he was talking about strengthening the legs and, you know, giving tips. So I have disc issues. I know that you had herniated, so I have lower 3 lumbar disc issues as well. And I don't want surgery. So I know core strengthening is one of the things, but, you know, like it's killing me these last couple of days. So I just wondered, and it goes in and out, which is part of my hip and strength issues. What did you do to just continue to strengthen? I don't know if it was in your lower back or upper back, but it's like right there in the lower back for me. Yeah. How did you, you know?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure mine started with a really bad fall that I had when I was like 15 in high school. Like I fell on my tailbone with my, you know, like legs, body in the air, legs in the air, right on the tailbone. I couldn't barely walk for a week. Never had it diagnosed. And then when I was like 23 is when it finally just blew out, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was pretty bad for a while. And I wasn't aggressive in my approach at first because I didn't know anything about it. I thought if it hurts, you just have to lay down and kind of rest. And I would just strap on this big like back brace to go teach classes when I was in the garage. And then I would just take it off and lay down. And then I met Dr. Lou, who took a real aggressive approach. And so it wasn't one thing that really helped me get through it. It was quite a bit. And I had to gauge the pain each day. So if I was in bad shape, I couldn't be as aggressive, right? Yoga made a really big difference because it wasn't just stretching my back and tight hamstrings. It was a, you know, it's a full body approach, but you need to be careful with some of the bends and stuff. I would use heat to warm it up before I would do anything, just to make sure I had good blood flow to the area. And then I really focused on, like my right hamstring got real tight because I had sciatic pain down my right leg. So that hamstring's like twice as tight, still to this day tighter than the other one. But I really focused on trying to stretch that so when I would bend in that angle, it wouldn't catch and hurt quite as much. But I also did, I did acupuncture. I did acupuncture with those little electrodes, like it's like those little car starters, you know, that they put on the acupuncture needles and just zap you. I hated those, but they really help chill my muscle out. And I did that in my back. I did that in my leg. A lot of band work, a lot of stability, you know, work. I mean, it wasn't one thing, you know, but it was one thing every day. I was always doing something. Even on my really bad days, I would try to just promote a lot of blood flow, just to get some of that inflammation to move out of there. What are you doing right now?
So I've done, I did chiropractic, I did osteopathy, I did acupuncture. You know, it keeps changing. And for me too, I found out I'm allergic to gluten, and that the inflammation has, you know, it's a lot better. I do a lot of stretching. Yeah, it's just I'm losing weight, getting more, you know, strengthening. But I think it's just because since being home, I'm doing a lot of home modeling like projects plus working out every day. So a lot on my feet. Right. And it just gets aggravated. And I was just curious what you did.
One other thing, I don't know if you've done this. Have you ever done traction?
Yeah, a long time ago, but not recently.
I had a chiropractor tell me it was like the worst thing to do, so I didn't do it for years. And then I started doing it at Dr. Lou's, and I love it. You know,
Dr. Lou?
I think it's better to do when you're not inflamed. You know, like don't do it when you're real sensitive.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense. It pulls that disc apart and get some breathing room.
Yeah.
You said, who's Dr. Lou?
Yeah.
He's a black belt here. He started with me back in the garage. That's how I know him, because back then when I was like broke and living with my dad and just teaching like 5 students, we did a barter of like rehab for jiu-jitsu. And so like the best early on relationship with, you know, somebody. And now he works with a lot of like NFL and pro athletes. He works with some UFC fighters, you know, over at the Cypress. He's got 2 locations. One of them is like 4 minutes from the school.
Okay, I'll Google him.
Yeah. Just Google All-In, OLLIN.
Okay.
And that will be, they'll take good care of you. They're real good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we still have some time. Who's got the next question? Trenton? No? All right. No one else? Come on, Sam.
I got one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This was kind of, it's kind of a topic more than anything. And this was based off of the discussion the other day about when Kenneth was talking about strength versus technique.
Right.
And this kind of came about when I did my first competition, you know, white belt competition. And I kind of struggled with it being really more of a strength thing than a technical thing, where it was a lot of like linear movements and just power and holding and strength more than a technical thing.
Yeah.
And it got a little bit better in the second competition, but still, I guess the question would be, what is the transition of that? And how do you like get away / fight more of that linear power strength stuff and transition it to more like a technique type of application, I guess?
You don't do any one thing. You're just aware of it, and you're making little trades, sort of like day one jiu-jitsu is 100% whatever your athleticism is, right? And 0 technique. And you learn a little more technique and you need a little bit less of that. And then eventually they sort of merge, because you don't throw away your athletic abilities. If you're strong and fast and powerful and you add that to your sharp technique, it's just going to make your technique that much more effective. And I tell people that, like, don't ever think that your strength is a flaw. Think of it as something that needs to strengthen your technical game, right? So there are times like Professor Todd's a good example. When I go with him, he's a great athlete and a great black belt. So I can't like out athleticize him. That's not a word, I don't think, but you know what I mean? But then there are times if I get to a good position, I will full on force try to use all my strength in those positions, because his defense is so good that if I get a good position, I need all the elements working to try to make something happen. And you're going to have those moments where you and your opponent are very evenly matched. The winner is going to be the one who gets to a slightly better position. But to get that, you might need to bring 100% of your technique and maybe 100% of your, physical ability to make that work. What you don't want to do is come out to the fight 100 miles an hour and using everything you got when you don't need it, or when you're just going to scare the other person into stalling you, and then now you get tired, right? You only have so much gas in the gas tank. So think of it like this, to try to get back to your question, like, how do you make the transition? Just ask yourself at the end of every match, was I more technical or was I more athletic during that fight? You're always going to have both. You need both. And you want to be reserving your athletic ability for when it counts. Use it when it counts, right? If I go with Anthony and I try to sweep him with my very best, perfectly technical sweep done slowly, it won't work, because he'll just go, oh, I see what you're doing. You're doing it slowly and predictably. And it'll offset his weight. But if I'm moving slowly and then I pull the trigger, once I hit the position, I pull the trigger with my speed and power and the technique, then my chances are pretty good, right? So this is why for like, if you're going to go do a strength and conditioning exercise for jiu-jitsu, you need something that makes your heart rate go up and then down. Jogging for 5 miles is too predictable to imitate a jiu-jitsu match or a long bike ride, right? Or heavy weightlifting. It's like, well, that's a real slow, strong movement, but it doesn't help the speed, So I want to do exercise routines that get my heart rate up and then bring it down. They work my core, they work my strength, and they work my, everything, because a jiu-jitsu match is unpredictable. So, yeah, don't ever feel bad about using it. Just ask yourself, like, if you used it and it failed, then you know that was the wrong timing, and you've got to make adjustments to your timing. Am I on the right track with answering kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. And it was also the flip side of the question too. What's a way to defend against somebody that's just using athleticism? What's an approach to try to take it and apply more of your technical into that versus just having to go the strength route?
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple people in class that are like the kind of the monsters of our class, right? The biggest, strongest ones. Quentin is always a good example for me. He's very technical, but you got to admit it, he's a big, strong person, right? Quentin, I'm almost never trying to beat him quickly, because if I go for an attack quickly, he's going to launch me, to throw me off, right? So with him, it's all about stopping his initial storm of attacks and slowing him down, where he starts to maybe breathe a little, like, oh, I don't have too much more of that, right? So, for example, let me just kind of pretend fight with Anthony, right? If I, let's say he took me down and I have a couple of grips, right? And he's real aggressive, right? He's trying to fight real aggressively. Just pretend that's happening for a second. And I'm like, oh man, I've got to hurry up and make my move. Well, that might not be the right time. So let's say, okay, you're going to get crazy aggressive. Ready? Go. All I did was just try to stop his big moment. He's trying cut through, X pass, leg drag. He's looking for something. I can feel that tension of power. So I'm like, no. Hold his leg, hold the collar, hook in, stop all those. So he feels like, oh, I'm stuck. I have to slow down, right? So yeah, when someone's coming at you, you're not always going to be able to counter with the right timing, But look at switching like a boxer. Like if a boxer comes out and the other one just comes out wailing on him with punches, they don't always, the smart ones, I mean, sometimes they do, but they don't always respond back by like, oh, let's just brawl. A lot of times, like the Floyd Mayweathers, they'll just, they'll play a little bit there, they'll find the rhythm, and then they'll get into it. So there's nothing wrong. You don't have to match the speed and aggression of the bigger, stronger person. You just stop what they're doing until they slow down and realize that they're not getting anywhere. And then I like to time it as soon as they slow down, they're under the impression that I'm going slow. So when they finally slow down, if I can immediately go fast, now they're like, oh, they weren't expecting it. So that's another way you can sort of think about timing, right? Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, that works. I mean, I think it's just, as we're going through all this technical, I can tell it's helped a lot. It's just when you go back to class, the Tysons and the Quintons and the Kenneths, how do you start applying that more into those situations? So I guess like you're saying, break it down.
Remember one thing though, Philip, you're naming guys besides Kenneth, but the other guys like you're naming are bigger than you, and I think a lot of them have been training longer. So
yeah, true.
So it's like, how do you beat the person who's bigger, stronger, and more experienced than you? You don't beat them. You try to beat them, and you figure out ways to make improvements, but you probably don't. There's no quick. I mean, if jiu-jitsu was like that, we'd all be trading belts every day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I figured out how to beat the guy 3 belts higher than me. It just takes one idea. It's complicated, but you.
But
might
you answer. Yeah. I mean, like you said, maybe more the defensive breaking it down, and not always trying to do more of the moves or take it more technical, take it slower.
Yeah, like if I train with Shanji, right, Ribeiro, I can't beat that guy, right? I can do a little better no gi than gi, but I can't beat him with the gi. Like he's going to tap me out. But I've had moments where I had good breaks and even survived like rounds, but some of those came from really accurate defense to where he maybe opened up his game a little more to try to catch me off guard, and then I could escape. I'm trying 100% to win, but I'm also like, I'm looking at him like, well, this guy's a 7-time world champion. He's probably going to beat me. And he does. So I can't gauge it whether or not he beat me again, because it's going to probably do it every time. But I am gauging improvements. If I train with him 10 times, it's a very different experience, right? It's not just about who got the points and the taps at the end, because, there's going to be some people that maybe that's years away, but you still have to always, every experience, every class has to come back to, like, where did I improve this time? And and Shanji says the same thing when he talks about Salo. Like, I love when he talks about Salo. He goes, when I trained with my brother growing up, it was always get smashed, train, get smashed for years. And then gradually it became get tapped a little bit less than I did before. And then it got to the point, not getting tapped at all, just getting beat like 25-0 in the rounds, but surviving. And then he would score, which would be like 25-4. And then over time, it became even, right? But how long did that take for one of the greatest ever, to get to that point? It was like, you had to put in that time. And that really it's a very intelligent approach to how you handle someone who gets the better of you, right? We don't like it. We want to beat the person who beats us. Like, no matter what, that's what we want to do. But we've got to take something from every experience, every challenge, every sparring session, tournament. We've got to take something from it that we can grow with. And so that takes some accurate reflection, not just like, oh man, this sucks. It's like, well, it really takes like looking at it and saying like, okay, how did he beat me? He did this. Did he do that to me last time? Yes. Huh. He did the same thing to me twice. Maybe I need to correct this one area. And then you improve 2% because of that. And that's how you keep adding to your game. So, we're just about out of time, guys. Thank you all again for joining. Really great to see some of you on. Trey, good to see you again. Trenton, really nice to see you, buddy. Glad you made it on today. And Shanekwa, great to have you back again. I hope we'll see you again for class tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys all for the questions. Remember, guys, it is buddy week this week. Everybody needs to send this invitation to a friend, a family member, somebody who you think might enjoy trying one of these classes. Just take the link that we're giving y'all, send it to them, have them join the class with us. We would love to share, this community and martial arts with them. And yeah, I really appreciate it. As we get closer to when we open, which I don't know when that is, so I don't have any answers for you. It's looking like May 1st, there's going to be some opportunity there for what they allow, but obviously it's not just going to be like, okay, everybody jump in and let's just start sparring together again right away. It's going to be a gradual return to normalcy. But we will let you know what we plan on doing. Until then, everybody's job is just to keep attending as many of these classes as you can, keep bringing the questions on. Our goals don't change just because reality changed, like I said. So now is a great time to review your goals. And if you don't have clearly defined written goals by what you want to get out of martial arts and what you want to get from your life altogether, there's no better time than right now. Write them down, dream big, get excited, and start putting together plans to make them work. All right. And we're all here to help you guys with that. So thank you again. Let's line up and bow out together. Come on. Okay, team, right here, ready to stance. Feet together, attention. Now, good work. I'm going to end this class. If you're already logged on for the Muay Thai, we'll be back in just a second. And remember, tomorrow night, watch party, Jiu-Jitsu watch party, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Be there. It's going to be a good fight.
Bye-bye.
See ya.